is up, y'all? It's your boy Dante Chang, and this is the Completely Unprofessional podcast.
Completely unprofessional.
I
don't know what that was.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
I wanted you to give like a full house, like
it.
you know what I mean, TGIF feel to it. Like
That's the best I could do. That's the best. We got my co-host Austin Hall. He's back from the road, and we got special guest Omar D.
Omar D.
This is the Marvel podcast today. That's all we're going to talk about today. There's possible spoilers for Infinity War in case you listened. So if you don't want to get spoiled at all, just cut it off.
Wait, like Infinity War on the movie or the comic?
Oh yeah, we got that.
You know what? I believe that we could guess it right.
We got that juice.
And I know I talked to someone that read the script.
Can we not?
Don't
can
spoil
we
it
not
for us,
spoil
bro.
The script reading. Can we make educated guesses based off of
I
the
like
comics?
hypotheses.
We'll do that. We'll do that as much as possible.
Did I get that right? Hypotheses.
So
I feel like
the new trailer just dropped. What did you guys
smart
think?
Guy. Oh, that's my shit. I told you.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all of y'all watched it just as many times as I did.
How many times did you guys watch it?
I've watched it, and I'm not kidding, at least 40 times.
Yeah, I'm there.
There's a whole
I'm there
2 hour
with
and
him.
a half hour movie out of my life just dedicated to watching that trailer.
You know what this makes me sad is that there is a portion, I think, when Thanos is like jumping in the air and shit, like it was like a 12-second, 15-second portion. I watched that like at least 50 times in a row where I would just be like, this is amazing. Like to see Captain America hold his fingers, I watched that at least 50 times.
I love that part. I love that part. I love that part. I love the part when Star-Lord and Tony Stark are interacting.
Bruh.
I've watched that trailer so many times in so many different ways. Like I've watched it fast forward, I've watched it backwards. I've stopped and pressed the space button to try and like see like where I could find like little like, you know, clues and shit for the trailers and shit. And like I even like noticed there's a part where Chris Evans is holding Thanos' arm, like, and he's like kind of screaming. And if you look at his eyes are a different color than they were early.
Yellow.
Yeah, they're yellow.
Yeah.
So it's like, is he on some sort of next level shit? Like, did something happen there?
I've read some stuff on. They said that could be Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Maybe he
but
took the
still, I
Vision
think
Stone.
this motherfucker's gone, man.
Yeah, well, in the comics, it's like in the comics, he said when because I found the comic where he kills.
I saw it.
He just smacks him like a fly.
bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look at him.
No, Captain America's done after that.
He doesn't even look
Here's
at
what
him.
sucks though, man, is you know what it reminded me of? It reminds like when you're an adult and like you're playing with like your cousins and shit like that, like a 4-year-old, and he starts to like kind of like, oh shit, he's like withstanding my strength. Oh, okay, he's a little stronger, but if I like gave you 35%, I'd kill this motherfucker. Like that's what it looked like, cause his face was like, he's like, oh shit.
What about the Spider-Man bit at the end?
Oh, no,
The
that's
tag
it.
that. I love that so much.
because because that's actually his real name. That's why it's even cooler.
That's dope,
you know what I
bro.
mean?
I think the last, because you know, like after he says, you know, I guess, well, you know, I'm Spider-Man, there's a shot of him like swinging through all the shit that's going on, like with the invasion. In that 5-second shot of him swinging, that may have been the best 5 seconds of Spider-Man swinging in any movie. We've had
that's
like
true.
40 Spider-Man
That's
movies.
true.
That was incredible. I was like, that is amazing.
That's awesome.
The
Yeah, that was
craziest
awesome.
thing is that's him dodging Thanos throwing the moon.
You think so?
Like if you go,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, if you go back, you see the craters falling down. That's what he's actually going through and dodging the shit.
I feel like, because I remember when they released the photo of Thanos throwing the moon, unless he throws multiple moons, and this is a multiple moon throwing story, that the original shot of him like pulling that moon was on his home planet Titan.
Yeah, that's where Spider-Man's at. Spider-Man's not.
I heard
Spider-Man.
Oh, because they can travel.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
the circle.
interesting.
That's what I'm saying. The circle was allowed, and that's where I think Thanos. That's how he gets on Titan. That's how he gets to Wakanda.
Is Titan still around in the? Because I thought like that it kind of like suffered like a Krypton fate, like where Titan is done, and then Thanos is just sitting in a chair for like 40 years.
It looks like
he's
that.
just roaming.
Sure as hell looks like that.
Yeah, whatever. I'm talking about whatever planet, because they said when they were basically looking at the trailer, those people, they were saying basically that deserted planet was Titan. It was like the pieces, and that's where like you see like I guess.
Well, they've got the Reality Stone and the Time Stone, so anything's really possible.
Exactly, and he comes through when he on the first trailer. when Thanos pops through that little hole or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so he's just coming in and out of shit. Like,
Marvel
Loki
You
boom
can just
tube.
transport, right? You
Dog.
can just transport.
This motherfucker is.
The Marvel boom tube. Darkseid has the same shit where he just like
Yeah, I
pops
love
out
that shit.
into nowhere. And then
DC, man.
They,
Fuck
they
DC,
just
bro.
copied each other. DC's a piece of crap.
DC movies, don't get me started because I will speak for the next hour on DC movies.
Yeah,
but it is.
It'll take too long.
I will say this: it is a tragedy that essentially we're getting a movie with the Avengers Infinity War where it's a list of by the mainstream, or it was 10 years ago. These are all a bunch of B characters.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the first Justice League movie comes out, characters that we have known about for almost 100 years.
Yeah.
pretty much.
About three A-list characters. I
You
would
know,
say.
and it's like that movie is dog shit, and it should
It
have
is
been the
dog
greatest
shit.
movie ever. But
Dog shit.
Infinity War looks like the Infinity War is literally the culmination of everything I believe in my life.
But they didn't take, for some reason, they just didn't take the time. Like, dog, Marvel,
Marvel
beat
took the
it
time.
out and was like, yo, this is how we're going to introduce these guys. This is when we'll do Avengers. We'll start releasing more and more. Like, I just felt like, yo, Disney was just so brilliant in their strategy of, we'll lay the foundation. Like, yo, we got the Justice League before we even knew Aquaman. We didn't even know who these people were.
Marvel had a strategy. DC was just like,
Fuck it. Just
gotta put it out.
they panicked.
Fuck that shit.
After
Put it
Batman
out.
versus Superman, actually it started when Man of Steel didn't make $1 billion. Rather than just have faith in Zack Snyder and his plan, they were just like, well, let's put Batman in there. And then they did that. And then when Batman v Superman didn't do as well as they wanted to do, they had already fast tracked Justice League. Like Justice League was set to start filming during the premiere of BVS. So they didn't even push Justice League back or say, let's push it on hold because they were afraid of a PR nightmare. So basically, they knew Justice League was going to bomb. And then they had all these reshoots. They brought in Joss Whedon. When they knew, like if you ask anybody at WB right now, even a month before Justice League came out, they were ready for that. They were just ready for that shit to be over with. They didn't even try.
And I didn't understand why. Like, I liked what they did with Man of Steel. I just thought it was too long or whatever. But I liked how it looked.
Yeah.
Like the
I even like
Batman.
BVS.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying?
BVS wasn't bad.
I like the
wasn't
Ultimate
bad.
Edition. I really do.
Wasn't bad.
It just,
wasn't
they
good.
flipped. Like,
It wasn't
Justice-
great. It was okay.
You know-
it was okay. Honestly, I feel like I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 27%. It didn't deserve that.
It's not a 30. It's not
It
that
deserved
bad.
that.
I think that people, hated it for stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of good things about that movie.
Your expectations are so high. I mean, Superman
Yeah,
was
well,
bad. It's cool.
man, they just they don't have pacing. Like, sometimes, like, yo, DC has to work on their pacing. Like, Marvel has a good fucking
you know what they
pace.
do?
DC needs a plan. They don't
need
have
to-
a plan.
Yeah,
They
they
need to
do.
just sell to Disney. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was
I'm not
about
a
to
fan
say,
of that.
no, they can't, because that's the.
As a capitalist, I like a lot
I was
of-
just about
yeah.
to say, that's monopoly right there.
Yeah.
That's game over. It's already fucking game over.
Does anyone really want to see, Batman versus Captain America?
that would be
Well,
cool.
you know what? Now that I mentioned it,
I was
that'd
just
be
about
cool.
to
But like,
That was one of my
I
favorite
don't-
comic books.
Which one?
When it put DC versus
the
Marvel,
crossover?
I was about to say, with Captain America, with Batman beat Captain fucking America, I was like, yeah, that's my
the best
shit.
part of that crossover was there's a panel where the Joker meets Red Skull, and then he goes, wait a minute. He finds out that the Red Skull is really a Nazi, and he's like, listen, I'm a crazy homicidal murdering maniac, but I'm an American murdering maniac, and he like punches Red Skull right in the
Got it,
fucking
got it.
face. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, that is cool. I read that before.
What was it?
too.
Mariner versus Aquaman? I can't remember what was
Submariner.
it. Yeah, that was like, I just used to go
Namor.
through and see who the fuck would win. I think Wolverine versus Lobo. Like, it was just cool.
Like
just seeing
DC's trying to make a
crossover.
Lobo movie directed by Michael Bay. Who wants that?
Terrible.
Who wants that?
Terrible.
But they're out of characters now. They've used their best character. They used all the A-list characters.
They haven't. I would love to see. Like, there was a rumor that they're still trying to make a Green Lantern Corps movie, right? And it's basically the latest rumor right now is that it's going to be like an old Hal Jordan is training like a young Jon Stewart in the Green Lantern Corps. And I'm like, a buddy cop movie in space with Green Lantern, that can work. Like, and I feel like all their best ideas they're not using. They're just going back. Like, there was another idea thrown out that like you could do a Cyborg Flash like team up movie. And like with, because they're both millennials, like that would be amazing. Like, why not take risks like that? Like Thor did that with Hulk.
Yeah.
It worked out great.
Worked out very well.
DC just can't, man. What did Ryan Reynolds was fucking Green Lantern? Marvel was like, you know what, you're Deadpool. We're gonna take you and just.
He's been trying to make that movie for years. I think
I know,
ever
which is
since
awesome.
ever since Wolverine won,
which was smart.
He was trying to make that movie.
Yeah,
He was one of the best
That's
things in that
Yeah.
fucking movie. I was like, yo, what?
Yeah, he
is
was
this?
great, man. I mean,
What is this?
I watched that movie leaked. X-Men Origins Wolverine. That movie leaked online like a month
remember
or
that.
3 months.
I remember that.
I watched.
did. I
That was how I
watched that.
saw. That was my first experience of that movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
This is not good.
So, who do you if you guys predict? I want to hear your predictions. Who do you think is going to die in Infinity War?
Oh, you know Cap. Cap's gone, man. I know Cap's gone.
Well, that's what happens in the comics. What do you think?
I think Iron Man's. I think Tony Stark's.
You think
gone.
Tony's gone?
Bro, he's a human inside of a like an armored machine. I think like they might both be gone, but I know. I mean, I don't know, but every part of my Jewish instinct is telling me that Tony's biting the dust.
See, I can't. I can't see the second. I can't see the second one without Robert.
Oh God,
I just can't see like he's
second-
such
honestly,
a big pull.
he's going to hurt the most. He's my favorite one.
Yeah.
So watching him
He's
go
been with
would-
us the longest.
Yeah, it would hurt the most. It's something about him.
It's your first love.
He's so charismatic too. He's so likable. He's such a good guy. But he's cocky. You just like him. He's so successful. He's I mean, it logically makes sense. Like if he goes out, then that girl Suri, she'll probably take his place as a technology girl.
Oh,
which would make
she
sense.
could be the new Iron
she'll
Man.
be the new.
Oh,
she
there
could
you
probably.
go.
Yeah, so it makes
And
sense.
You know what's crazy is in the new comic book, the new Iron Man is a little black girl. So
That'd be amazing.
like that'd be crazy as fuck.
I think it would be devastating if Tony Stark went, but
this is what I'm afraid of. Like, it's kind of like I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you watched. As a kid, I watched Transformers, right? And in Transformers, I remember when they got rid of Optimus Prime, it just started tanking. The show just started tanking. And it's feel like if you take the best care, if you get rid of Iron Man, Captain America, those are probably your top two guys.
Hold
I'm
on.
Team
Two,
Cap now,
two
bro.
points there. One is they could die in the first, in Infinity
bring 'em
War,
back.
and then the Avengers 4 could be about whoever is left trying to use the Reality Stone or whatever to try and
Time
get
Stone, right?
the Time Stone or whatever to try and make up for all that. But then on the other hand, to your point about Tony Stark and them being your favorite characters, like don't forget Black Panther just made $1 billion.
He'll be like the new.
And then you got
frontrunner.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like you might not have the old Avengers, but like if you still had an Avengers with Thor, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Hulk, like
It could still work.
it could still work.
You
Yeah, I'm
convince
not
me.
mad at that.
Yeah, you convinced me.
And you'd also have the echo effects of like the death of Captain America and the death of Iron Man, or both, could have ripple effects throughout the cinematic universe where their presence could still be felt cinematically for movies to come.
Yeah, they'll always bring their name up.
But if you kill Cap, man, I told you this. Like I started out being like full on, like yo, I fuck with Iron Man more than anybody.
Yeah.
But gradually, I just fuck with Cap more, man. Like I just be like, yo,
He has the best movies.
Definitely.
He has the best movies.
He actually started out with the worst. Actually, Thor was the worst to me. But I thought that was like
Thor
tied. Yeah, Thor 1 and Captain America 1
are probably the worst
My
ones.
brother loves fucking Captain America 1. I'm like, I don't see how.
I like it. I don't love it.
I'm like,
I
hate it.
like Winter Soldier and
No, Winter
Civil War
Soldier
a
was the
lot.
shit.
When we get to our top 5, I have a very controversial selection.
Yeah,
in there
I'm
that
curious.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna get to that. So I mean, the next subject I had was in Avengers 4. You've already seen some set pictures, right?
Yeah.
It's Avengers 4. You seen set pictures?
Yeah.
It looks like they're costumes from Avengers 1. So they
Yeah, they're
obviously
going
go
back
back in
in- yeah,
time.
they said they were going
So
back in time.
I guess if you want to predict what happens,
Or it could be a flashback that shows something that maybe they didn't originally film.
no, it's weird. No, because Ant-Man's in those pictures.
Well, I actually think what's gonna happen
okay.
is. Well, I
Yeah,
actually
it's-
would think what's gonna happen is one of those guys we were talking about is gonna die. Doctor Strange uses the Time Stone
To go back.
Because I think what really happens is Vision either dies and they take that
Oh,
stone
he's gone.
from him. Yeah.
Vision's gone.
They're gonna take that
He's gonna
stone
die.
from him because
Fuck
that's why I
him.
feel like in the trailer you see Thanos in Wakanda And I think that's why Captain America is trying to stop him holding his fingers and shit. And I remember seeing a clip of.
First of all, why does Marvel? Why does these filmmakers? Why do they think we care about Vision? Have you noticed like how they like put him in the trailers and shit, and they're trying to make it. They're trying to make us feel. Who gives a fuck?
I think it's about the stones more than. I mean, nobody gives a fuck.
Well, they're trying to make this romance with him and Scarlet Witch. Like, bro,
this is annoying. Annoying.
You're a Siri in a body.
They try to do the same shit with Witch and the Hulk. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Where did that come from?
I don't give a fuck about this shit.
The coolest thing Vision ever did was pick up Thor's hammer. That's the coolest thing. That's the only moment he had that I thought was cool.
Man, they dropped the ball on Ultron. That was supposed to be a dope ass fucking fight at the end, and it was just weak. I'm like, yo, why did y'all do that?
You know what it is? You know what also made it weak? Because we were all expecting Thanos. Because they teased him after the first movie.
Right.
And you came out, you're like, Thanos is coming. Kind of like the way Dark Knight brought in Joker, the best villain in the second. So you almost had that saying you were expecting Thanos, but they just kept teasing. And now they finally said, all right,
sitting in that chair, dude. Just fucking chilling in that chair.
I'll do it myself. Like, how you gonna tease
what are you
twice?
doing by yourself in that chair?
That's how you know.
No, right?
That's how you know Marvel does have a lack of villains.
What does he do?
Just fucks
like
you
when
up.
no one's talking to him, like what does he do? Is he just floating in that chair forever? Like
sensually touches himself a little bit with that Infinity Gauntlet.
Man,
I bet you that thing moisturizes very well.
I was just about to say, but that gold, that's
looks
gotta
very
be chafing. I was about to say that's gotta chafe. That's easy.
Well, he's been sitting for a long time.
He just sits with that thing on.
He
just sits there, and he's never really wearing any different clothes.
No, he's
you know
not.
What I'm saying?
Never changes.
Never
changes. He's like Peter Griffin.
I hope. Listen, the Russo brothers said that this movie might as well be called, and I quote, "You could call this Avengers: Thanos." Like they're saying that this movie's coming from Thanos' point of view. So I'll be damned if I do not have an explanation as to the chair, the clothes, the bathing. I want to see the day-to-day things.
You want to see the bathing?
I want to see how does he shower?
Well.
There's a lot of space debris in space, and he is just sitting in a chair. And apparently, he's had a daughter. How does that work?
Well, they're adopted, right? Nebula
Nebula's his like semen daughter.
No, they're all
like Nebula used to be at his balls.
Yeah, Nebula's his daughter, and Gamora he just took.
He was like, damn, bitch, you suck.
Yeah,
I need to put some machine parts
after that.
Which I'm actually interested to see what he was like back in the day. Like when you see the little girl grab his, what was her name?
They're gonna show Gamora.
Right, Gamora grabs his hand. She's like a little girl and shit like that. Like I want to see what this is all about, dog. But I definitely just want to see this motherfucker fuck everybody up.
I do.
Apparently has a real emotional arc. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think he's very. They said he's a sucker for love. That's his only weakness.
For real?
He's a sucker for love.
Fuck that shit.
That's one of his weaknesses.
He looked like he beat the helmet off of Tony Stark.
Yeah,
I don't even know what happened to the Guardians because your man with the who's the dude who's always like talking everything is
Chris
literal
Pratt,
to him? No, everything's literal.
Drax.
Right. You see none of them, him, Doctor Strange, all of them, like the Dark Order look like they're fucking people up
they
too,
look scary, man. They look good, don't they?
They do look good.
Yeah. Right?
The shot where Doctor Strange has like all these fucking
Ebony
things going into him, and then there's this dude who's like Ebony Maw.
That's what I said. I'm like,
I was like, that motherfucker looks great.
That looks
great.
Why is he giving him acupuncture? I don't know, but this is so interesting to me. Like,
and telling him to stay calm.
Yeah, how you gonna stay calm?
That
you
was
got
needles.
Relax.
It's supposed to work that way.
It's cool,
if
bro.
you're in pain,
I think I know what I'm guessing. I think Spider-Man saves him right there, and that's when they talk.
Oh shit! Right.
It looks like the same background.
There you go.
And it also looked like if you looked in the trailers when Spider-Man leaves, he chases the ring, and then Tony shoots him that Iron Man suit. That's how he gets on top and gets momentum to get on top.
I think what I'm most excited about regarding Spider-Man is that first of all he's in his Iron Spider suit, so I'm waiting for those fucking the spider claws to come out of his back. I know that shit's coming. I'm just excited to see that. But it's interesting that there's also a shot of Spider-Man in his normal suit. So what I'm most excited to see is that we get it's not like Spider-Man shows up for one battle or Iron Man shows up for one battle. Like there are multiple battles that they have teased in the trailer. There's the Wakandan battle. There's the one that looks like it's on, I believe, Titan, and then there's the one that goes down in New York City.
New York, right?
Like so, there's like multiple Avengers fucking shit up, and then that's not even getting to Thor and Groot and their little arc that they're on right now.
Yeah, in the beginning, you about to see Thanos fuck all of the Asgardians up and shit like that, to the point where he's torturing Thor. And I know that's why Loki gives him the Tesseract. Because he beat the fuck out of everybody, grabbed Thor's head, and was like, I'm just about to squish this motherfucker.
Someone said
Are we over Loki? I mean, not Loki. My fault. Are we over? Are we over Loki right now?
Oh, we're done. I mean, he's not even. Yeah, he's gone.
I love Loki.
He might even. He might die.
I think he might die too.
I was about to say he might be gone.
I'm trying to find this picture.
Remember that was his army.
Yeah, no. But that's what I'm saying. But he gives him the Tesseract. I know that's when he breaks it. Finally, gets the second one because I know from the Comic-Con footage, Thanos was basically beating up the Collector. He gets the Purple Stone from him. That's when the ship comes up on Thor's ship. They fuck them up. That's how he gets the Tesseract. That's how he gets the 2. He basically gets the 2 Infinity Stones.
I'm so over Loki and his will he won't he storyline. I think that shit it's been played out. Like the fact that they're bringing him back again. Like I get it for all sorts and purposes. Like he should be evil and he should be helping out Thanos. But then why do you have him turn good in the last Thor movie? Like it's just come on, dude. Like it's just like make up your. I feel that. If he's gonna be bad, he should have been bad all the way through from beginning to end. And maybe they have like one movie where he kind of teeters a little bit, but then it's like they're kind of just like for lack of I don't know if it's lack of creativity. They just don't know where they want to go with this character because they know that we would love to see him be good, but we'd also love to see him be bad. And it's like you got to make a choice.
You know what hurt Avengers to me? The first one is that even though it was great. But like he was the main villain in Thor, Loki, right? And then he's the main villain against all these guys.
Yeah, like if Thor already whooped your ass, why am I worried about?
He should have had somebody else. Like somebody else should have either like he teamed up with somebody or something. Like
Thor and Ultron. Loki and Ultron.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, man. They were just trying to find somebody that wasn't gonna have to take everybody on. I think that's why I was always telling people. Like in superhero movies or like basically like action movies, you need all of these little Chikari or whatever to just for everybody to just fuck up on their own or whatever. But who else was gonna really have that? Because I think they already had Ultron in mind. So they were like, we're gonna do just the regular old Loki, which was somebody who you already knew from Thor 1 that could tie everybody in. Because remember, it's like they had like the cool
that makes sense too.
They had like the cool little dialogue where it was like, "Oh, this is your brother," or whatever, and it was like, "Oh, you scared of a little lightning? I'm not fond of what follows after." It was like he was pretty much the only character that could basically tie everybody.
Yeah, that makes
together.
Sense. That makes sense.
And then they got to, but I mean,
I feel like he should have still had a buddy.
I hate Ultron.
Yeah, Ultron was bad.
I hate that second one.
That was bad.
Civil War gave me what I needed.
Yeah, Civil War was good. I like Civil War.
Agreed.
Some people, you know, it's weird. Like this is the weird thing. This is the weird thing I noticed. So I noticed that people that are really like people like you. They hate Civil War and Winter Soldier, but they like Avengers. People that aren't really into it as much as we are, you know. But then the people that are like really into it, that's what they like.
Show me these people who love the Avengers and don't love Civil War. Show me them.
Yeah, I was like,
find me these assholes so I can have a conversation with them.
You can't have a conversation with them because they're looking at it the same way you look at, you know, when you go to the movies, you're just watching it because it's there. The people that watch it a month later, you know what I mean? Those people or DVD. Those people. You know?
Those are terrible people that should not be allowed a voice in society and probably should have their voting rights revoked as well. They should not be allowed to vote. It's that serious. They should not be allowed to vote. They are the reason we have all these potholes in LA. It's unfortunate.
Okay, let's get your guys' top 5. Let's start with you, Austin.
I'm gonna go with Winter Soldier coming in at number 1. Avengers coming in at number 2. I actually like Iron Man Winter Soldier as number 3.
Wait a minute, what'd you have number 1? Winter Soldier 1.
Oh, right. What I say? Winter Soldier 1. Avengers number 1.
Wait, number one, are you high right now?
What?
No.
Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier number 1.
Nah, I fuck with Winter Soldier. I just,
Yeah. All right,
feel
so
like
what's number
for some
two?
reason,
Number 2.
Okay, so let me explain this Winter Soldier number 1, because I honestly feel like it actually had the best sequence to me. The best sequence when the motherfucker jumped on the top of the car and grabbed the steering wheel and threw that shit out.
Oh, that shit
and then
was
he
cool.
went and the hand-to-hand combat, I was like, yo, I've never seen a better choreographed fight in a Marvel movie where this motherfucker let the knife drop, grabbed that shit, stabbed it, kneed the motherfucker into the, like, it was just an amazing fight. And then it started off so right to me. Like the pace, when he jumped.
I love that
And then
pacing.
when he jumped in the thing, went straight down, got it, just ran through the shit, beat the fuck out of everybody. I was like, man, like the pacing was so good to me. I was like, yo, this is when I turned. This is when I turned on Iron Man and was like, fuck that shit. I'm Team Cap right now, dog. This motherfucker's winning. But, so I get, you know what? It goes,
Winter Soldier number 1.
Winter Soldier number 1. Avengers, Civil War, Iron Man 1. And then I'm not even going, you know what? I wanted to, but fuck it. I'll put Thor 2 in there.
Okay,
Thor 2.
You're completely.
You have a horrible list.
I don't like it.
Since you have.
I don't like 3.
Since you have your since you have a controversial. I'm gonna go first.
All right, first of all,
I'm gonna go first.
Okay, all right.
Because you said yours is crazy. So.
No, I have one on there that's crazy. The rest is, unarguably better than.
Mine's kind of similar to his. Number 1, Winter Soldier, and I have it, so you know that I copy you.
That's the shit.
Number 2, Civil War. Number 3, Iron Man 1.
You put Iron Man 1 over Avengers?
I liked it better. Number 4, Avengers. Number 5, Homecoming.
Okay.
Oh, see, yeah, we
That's
talked
me
about
and you
Homecoming.
have the same, almost the same list from your 1, 2, 3. You're as the same as my 2 through 4. But first of all, number 1, Black Panther. All right, just
Really?
yeah,
What?
absolutely. First of all, as a film, and in terms of rewatchability. And how it looks and the new things that it brings to superhero cinematic storytelling. It's just to me, it's the second best superhero movie ever made other than The Dark Knight. Exactly. Strictly because of, first of all, the fight scenes in there, how they're shot, the golden hue of everything that's going on, the brand new world that is shown to us with mythology, the acting, the way the villain is written, and how such a crazy story has real world consequences and real world parallels. I think that's when a movie transcends from being just a fun movie like The Avengers to something that is generational. And I think that when people, if you ask people about movies in 2008, The Dark Knight's the movie that comes up 10, 15, 20 years later. If 20 years from now, when you look at, superhero movies or just movies in general in 2018, Black Panther is going to be the movie that people talk about. So that's my number 1. My number 2 is Civil War, because I love the fact that the villain was not a super villain. No, it wasn't. The villain was Baron Zemo or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's not even really the villain.
Yeah.
There almost is no
It's
villain.
together, right.
And
It's
that's,
just-
I thought was, I
You know what it is? The Accords is the villain, dog.
Yeah. And then there's number 3, I have Winter Soldier. Because I love the fact that it's really, I love superhero movies that try different things. Like if you notice, BP tried new things. Civil War tried the no villain-esque, choose your side aspect. And then what Winter Soldier did is it basically made a socio-political thriller in the mold of a superhero genre, and I really, really love that. Number 4 is Iron Man, just because of how new and refreshing at the time and revolutionary it was. And then number 5. My pick that I don't know if you guys will fight with me on this, but this is my most underrated Marvel movie, is Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, you lost me on that.
Matter of fact, hold on. That's actually way better than Black Panther to me, dog.
Yeah.
As a movie,
what?
Black Panther is not in the top 5, bro. It's not. Fighting scenes, worse. The best thing that you said was that the villain was actually somebody that you felt like he was right, and he was right.
Bro.
He was so right.
think-
The
hold on.
fighting scenes were awful in Black Panther. You can't give me one fighting scene that you were like, yo, yeah, that compares to all of the shit. The
I never said it was the
scene.
best fight. I said it had
they
great
were-
fighting scenes.
No, I'm saying okay, so for Black Panther, what are the 3 scenes fighting that you were like, yo, this
First
is
of all,
amazing right now?
that car chase in fucking
Car chase is
Korea.
cool.
Car chase
and
was
then
cool.
that casino fight first of all, let me talk about the casino fight for a second.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
That's the whole chase.
Well, no, because the casino fight is a hand-to-hand combat situation, and then you have like the James Bond-esque, one of the best car chases I have ever seen on film, period. But let's talk about that casino scene for a second. In the casino scene, there is this, and I don't want to get too filmmaking-y on here, but there's a shot where Chadwick Boseman like punches somebody and the camera's on him, and then the camera is on a rig and it flies all the way up over a balcony where one of the Dora Milaje, she
With the
fucking
stick.
takes her
That was
spears
awesome.
on.
She was
That
awesome.
was
Awesome.
all one shot, and then the camera, as it settles into the balcony, it goes from being on a rig to being handheld as she continues her fight scene. So technically, as far as Black Panther goes, there are so many new things. Like you can't all right, if you want to make the argument that it doesn't have the best fight scene in a Marvel movie, you can say that overall Black Panther does so many things well that it doesn't need to have, this was the best X, Y, and Z out of every. It just does so many things exceptionally well that I love The Incredible Hulk. That's why it's on my top 5. But for you to say it
that's
is a better
awesome.
film than Black Panther,
Dude.
you can say you enjoy it more.
The scene.
You can enjoy
absolutely.
it more. It's not a better film than Black Panther by
What
far.
I'm saying, but like,
I'll say that right
even
now.
when you say like, okay, so you the casino, I'll even split it with you. I'll give you that. I'll split the casino and the car chase. That's fine.
Yeah, those are
both
awesome.
stupid. What are they? The fucking. It's the
Ritual?
the ritual fights.
I love the second
Fucking
Ritual fight.
Awful, bro.
I love the second one.
Fucking awful. It's basically a Rocky fight from the say the like, and then I throw him over there. I'm like, yo, this is the king.
Yeah.
This is the fucking king. This is the guy, and he lost. They
Well, yeah, 'cause-
cheated him. Like, they cheated the dude. The Killmonger is the rightful king, bruh. You
He does get
lost.
screwed. He does get screwed.
And they gave you the powder.
Yeah.
You weren't even supposed to. You were supposed to go back. He was like, I never conceded. Nah. He was like, fuck all that, bruh. I won. I'm the king out this motherfucker.
But okay, so you could disagree with like whether he got screwed or not, but as far as how it looked gorgeous. You had the water splashing against them. You had these beautiful shots.
No.
Gorgeous.
I'm fine with that. But you know what? I'll look at.
Are you talking about like hand-to-hand
I'll
combat
look for
choreography?
Darren Aronofsky if I'm looking for beauty in my shit.
He's
dude.
not directing superhero movies right now. This is what we got.
No. What I'm saying is though is Terrence Malick, if I'm like going and saying, oh, that's gorgeous, I like fuck that shit, man. If I'm like looking at the last battle, I'm like, man, this shit is boring as fuck, dude.
Last battle wasn't boring.
I'm like, man, come on, bro.
Not boring. It wasn't boring.
I'm like looking at it like, here's how I know it was boring. At least 4 of the people in our row were fucking asleep. I'm like, yo.
That's true.
I'm like, dude, this shit is fucking boring right now.
Yes,
dog.
it does suffer a little bit from superhero like movie fatigue.
I'm like, give me the like, why? And this is like, as a dude who doesn't look black, like I have a hard time explaining this to my other black friends, dog. As I'm like, how come everybody else's fucking superhero movies gets to be fucking fun and exciting and like cool like this shit, but we gotta take on the black people against the oppressor, Martin Luther King Jr. versus Malcolm X type conversation. Just make me enjoy the fucking movie, man.
But you are in the minority because like 99% of the world disagrees with you.
No, I
and loves Black
completely
Panther.
understand because they're like, yo, it's bigger than this. We need this to be about black people rising.
It's objectively entertaining. It is absolutely entertaining.
You started out the movie. Honestly, you started out the movie with a 5 to 6 minute scene about this guy basically being a spy in fucking Why are you spying in Compton? What's special in Compton right now? Like,
I could go into detail as to the plot points of that movie, but I digress, and I'll let you have that.
No. Because this is the point, right?
Okay, because basically what they have is the Wakandans have operatives that they send out to certain parts of the world to infiltrate and try and like they're spies, to make sure like if anybody's trying to come into Wakanda or steal vibranium. Like first of all, that dude Andy Serkis's character was already stealing from them, so he sent
No, but I'm like, is NWA, is Ice Cube, and fucking Eazy-E
Well, first of all, it's not
sneaking
Compton.
into
It's
Wakanda?
Oakland. It's Oakland. It's Oakland.
Same difference to me. I'm like, is niggas somewhere? It's like, yo, they struggling, selling drugs, shooting each other. Why are you out here if you are so technologically advanced? No, what really happened was Ryan Coogler was like, yo, I want to shoot something in Oakland, right?
Because the character's from New York. It's supposed to be in New York.
I'm like, yeah, but let's take it to Oakland, cause what international thing is going on in Oakland again? Nothing, dog. You did this shit, so you bored me for the first 5 to 6 minutes, where I'm like, yo, this shit should be starting out. Where I'm like,
listen, any
boom.
intelligence agency sends spies across the world to gather information that would suit gather their research and information.
No,
right?
I got you, but that's like, yo, we go into Liberia so we can set some shit up so we can run the political landscape because they have resources. What resources are in Oakland other than rappers?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yo, what are we doing here, Wakanda? I'm like, yo, you try to sneak in and be like, you know what? The next E40 that comes out will be under us. We'll get that. I'm like,
listen, Wakanda definitely wants the redistribution deals on Big Mac's
Sony,
album.
all of that shit, dog.
Hey, no lie though, when you first saw that funny looking kid at the beginning, the spy,
Hilarious.
I knew that was Forrest Whitaker. I was like, that's Forrest Whitaker. I was like, I look at that funny looking kid.
I was like, yo, that was spot on casting.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, you look weird. I was like, you look weird as fuck.
I knew that was Forrest Whitaker.
You look weird as fuck.
So yeah, no, actually my next question was, is Black Panther overrated? Some people feel like it's extremely overrated.
I think it's
Some
overrated.
people feel the same way you do, you know?
I think it's overrated. I feel like they dropped the ball when they didn't, like, yo, just cut
the racial narrative. Okay, you know what? There's something I don't necessarily agree with this point, but I actually can see where a lot of people kind of have, because I've heard this discussion before. Is like, all right, if you're gonna make a Black Panther movie, you're not good. You know, there's this Twitter user. Excuse me for forgetting his name, but he went on this long rant about how like Black Panther was disgusting because it's a movie about oppression where you have black people killing other black people to save white people in the name of saving oppression. Hilarious. And I think that he struck a chord there, and I disagree with it for different reasons, but what he was essentially trying to allocate is like, Disney is not going to make a movie that frees us. Us meaning black people. He was a black man that was saying this. He was like, Disney is not going to make a movie that frees us. So why even tackle that subject? Why even tackle the oppression? Because if you're not gonna free us, meaning show basically the Wakandans go out and murder the oppressors. If you're not going to give us that, don't tease us that. And I see where he's coming from, because basically he compared it to Star Wars, right? Because in Black Panther, T'Challa was basically like, no, we're not gonna kill white people because that is not the Wakandan way. And his argument was like, well, how come Disney in Star Wars would Luke ever go to Leia and say, hey, we're not gonna arm you guys, or it's not okay to arm the rebels because you're gonna kill the Empire? Like, no. And when it comes to his argument was that when it comes to white people like killing other white people in the name of rebellion, it's fine. It's fine. But they don't want to show black people killing white people in the name of rebellion. I disagree with that point for other reasons. That's a much longer podcast, but I definitely can see that argument, and and for people who are like, I don't want to see black people slaughtering black people in the name of rebellion, I see that argument. I disagree with the movie's themes and tones and narratives, but I get what you're saying there. If you just wanted a Marvel experience, but that's what I was basically saying is they basically were like, you know what? Hey man, don't fight your oppressor. Just open up a school in Oakland. That'll make everything better. They were like, yo, let's kill the dude. The dude's not even a villain, bro. He didn't say, yo, let's kill all white people on the planet. He was just like, yo, we're gonna send weapons to everybody who's being oppressed in the world right now. Yeah, but that plan is good in terms of if your goal is getting revenge, but if you want a stable planet for generations to come to prosper off of, you're essentially going to start war, because it's not just white people out oppressing people. You got it's not like there are more than white people in the world. Like you have the Asian community, you have Are you going to fuck with the Asians?
No, here's the thing. I'm cool with that. Whoever's oppressing, because that's wrong. Whoever's oppressing, the other people get the weapons. What's the problem with that?
Okay, but what happens is you end up, because of the casualties, a lot more people who are not even involved in the conflict end up dying.
That's what. Hey, look.
Nuclear
That's
war
what happens.
and stuff like
America. We got here from that.
Right.
The white people were being oppressed in England, and they were like, "Yo, fuck that shit. We about to go over to America. Now we need guns because those motherfuckers was like, bitch, you can't just run out on me." England was like a pimp and was like, bitch, you gonna try to quit me? You can't quit me. Came over to America and was like, hey man, you gotta come home, ho. You gotta come home. And the hoe was like, I don't wanna come home. I don't wanna come home, Teddy. I'm done with you. And it was like, bitch, I'm telling you, get in this car. It was like, yo, we need weapons. We need to start a militia. We need to protect ourselves. Now, if Wakanda was like, hey, America, here's some weapons. Would you really have a problem with that? No, because the same war is gonna happen. I'm tired of being under you. And that's why I agree with that dude. And I said the thing that I said. They killed Killmonger, but he wasn't even really truly a villain, dude.
No. But I think that was a goal for the film. I think he was more symbolic than anything. And I think what T'Challa was trying to represent is that look, it would be nice if right now we could just like kill only the bad people in the world. It would be great, but that's not a realistic possibility in this world. And the world is so much more complicated now that, if this was the 1700s, yeah, you could get those weapons and overthrow the oppressors, and that would be great. But right now, if you were to start that process today, due to all the complications of war, there would just be way too many casualties. So the only option that's viable is that you're left with is starting slow and starting the school and taking it slow.
Hey, learn to read and write, y'all.
You weed them, you age them out. You wait for the oppressors to either be voted out or to die, and then you have all these younger, more educated generation to essentially take power into their own hands.
Bruh, I don't think you ever.
It's a long
I don't
approach.
think ever in the history of history has somebody outweighted their opprer.
I think that's what's going on now. I think that's it's starting, but it's slow. Like if you think about it, like you have basically we don't. There was this I think what was it? Jordan Peele talked about like there was this vision when Obama was presidency that we lived in like a post-racial world, which is a lie, right? Because there's still racism every day, everywhere.
Yep.
But I think that what Obama was symbolic of was a baby step. Right. So I think the people because you still have people that were born in the 30s and 40s and 50s who grew up like racist old white men. Right. But now you have people who were born today who are, there's a whole generation of people who were born and their first president was black. Right. And then they were such a multiracial society now that generations from now, once the oldest generation on the planet were people born in like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s and 90s, once they're the old heads, eventually you're going to start weeding, that shit out. Like it's not like racism's going to, yeah, it's not like racism's going to go away.
We all have that thought.
Because for every one horse town, fucking hillbilly or whatever who hates black people, there is one Ivy League stuck up turtleneck wearing white dude who hates black people. So for somebody to be like, okay, so there's people who just outwardly hate black people,
and that guy doesn't like Black Panther.
Hates it.
They don't like Black Panther.
Hates it.
He wanted White Panther to come out. That's why did they make that movie? How would you feel?
They had Pink Panther.
We needed that.
Had Pink Panther. What else you want?
But I fuck with the Hulk. That Hulk second battle though, that was the shit to me. Like, I fuck with that. And I actually thought the Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton's last battle was like one of the best battles.
That was crazy.
I
liked him as Hulk.
That was great. I like that shit, man.
I like him, though. I like him. I'm a big fan of him.
Ed Norton, he's a great, he's a great actor, and he was a great Hulk, but apparently they had a whole bunch of problems with him because he like rewrote the script halfway through the film.
I'm not gonna go all in depth
crazy.
like you guys went fucking just so deep on this whole situation. My problem with Black Panther was it reminded me of Dark Knight Rises, and I felt like it was just a better version of Dark Knight Rises.
I actually agree. Because especially with him having to lose in the middle and then
come back. And then he kind of beats him easily at the end. But you know what? This is where I had to just scream with someone. Someone's like, I don't get how he beat the shit out of him, and then he comes back and beats him up. You said that, right? A lot of people said that.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, he got his ass whooped in the second one. Not even a punch.
But this is the thing. He understands. But T'Challa's had those powers for years, so he knows how to handle it more. This guy just got the.
Well, he was emotional in the second battle. The argument against that and and it's actually I agree more with you guys on this one. The argument against it is, he let his emotions get the best of him because he just saw, his uncle or not his uncle, I guess it was like his uncle Shuri got murdered or whatever. Yeah. So apparently he didn't have his wits about him, and then that's the argument they're trying to make. And I kind of, upon subsequent viewings, I kind of saw that, but he also had the purple juice at him the third time he fought him. Because remember during the second battle, he didn't have that super soldier purple juice, that purple Fanta. But then he had that Fanta in him. During that
motherfucking purple drink. But you know what
we know what that shit was. Why they make it
purple? That's racist.
We know what that shit is.
They could have learned from Troy when Achilles fought Hector. That second fight, dog. That was a dope ass fucking fight. Yeah. But if that fight was something like that where they were at least competing for a little bit, you could see that Hector was outmatched. But he was giving it his all, and it took him. He broke down from lost his sword, was fighting a little bit, and then finally, threw him over the thing. But he lost from the get-go. Stabbed him, was like, oh, now I'm out here, and now we're doing the Rocky theme, which was basically Creed 2.5. Okay, all right, cool, man. This is actually boring because I already know that he's going to lose this fight.
I didn't find it boring. I guess I can understand that you did, but there were a lot of people that I have to fight with on the Incredible Hulk because they found the Incredible Hulk boring. So it's like
no, it wasn't.
That was the shit. When he put his foot in that fucking car, it was like, bah.
I loved the Incredible Hulk, man. I think it's so underrated and forgotten, and I feel like everyone's all up on listen, Mark Ruffalo's great as the Hulk as well.
It feels like he can't get his own movie though. It feels like it doesn't ever.
No, he won't.
Would you want to watch listen, I'd watch it, and if it's a great movie, it's a great movie, but Mark Ruffalo can't hold the screen as well as Ed Norton.
Absolutely not.
But I like him as Hulk too.
I like him as Hulk, but it's I feel like everyone thinks you will hear people say
he's the best Hulk
ever.
I'm like,
no, he's just had better movies.
He's not.
He's better CGI.
And he's part of one of the better collective umbrellas that Edward Norton was outside of that shit for the most part. They had the little, the general came at the end and was like, Stark, you're one to talk with fancy suits and shit like that. But that movie was dope as shit, man. And the pacing was good.
Yeah,
that chase scene in Brazil was dope as fuck.
I love that it was in Brazil too. And
that was dope. I like that whole thing, man.
And the last shot of him where he's meditating and then his eyes open up and you can see that he can control it now. And then they totally forgot about it until the Avengers. Well, actually,
they did.
No, they didn't forget about it. My fault.
When did they?
Because at the end of the Incredible Hulk, he opens his eyes to insinuate that he has now control over the Hulk, right?
He can control it.
And then in the Avengers, for the first 2/3 of the movies. No, they made it.
He lost it.
They made it seem like he was out of control. But then it's revealed in the third act where he's like, I'm always angry that he can control it. So I think that he just made it look like he lost control earlier in the second act.
He was just not trying to ever blow up.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that.
Come on, bro. You already know. The Avengers with the Hulk versus Thor. Fucking Iron Man versus Thor. You got so much stuff in that. That's why I was like, yo, I could never put Black Panther above any of those because
my list is better than all of yours. I just want to say.
I was like, no way. Because you lost all credibility when you put Black Panther as number one. You fucked us all up.
First of all, can I hear your list one more time?
Let's go. Winter Soldier. Avengers 1.
Why is okay, go ahead.
Civil War.
You think Avengers is better than Civil War? You think Avengers 1 is a more compelling or well-made film?
No, you know what?
I don't.
You know what it is? It switches back and forth because, like I said, man, that was the first time that I actually, I remember being in awe seeing Iron Man fight Thor. I was like, yo, this is probably...
That was great.
This was the dopest shit I've ever seen. When he was on his back and Thor was getting smashed into the wall, jumped off, I'm like, Thor versus Hulk.
Awesome.
It was just the greatest... The battle scene at the end... Where I was like,
the Phantom Menace battle scene where they just fight a bunch of droids.
But it was dope. It was like, yo. But the one problem that I did have with Civil War was the fucking church scene when the old lady died. I'm like, yo, I don't fucking care about this.
So
bitch,
you
dog.
have a 30-second. You're holding a critique for a 30-second scene.
I hated that
and shit. And you're putting the Avengers.
I fucking hated that shit.
He loved her, man.
Bro.
I hated that in Winter Soldier. I was like, I don't care about you.
No one gives a fuck about
bitch, dog.
Peggy Carter.
Let her
or whatever
die.
her name is.
No, man, I felt bad about Peggy.
You
Carter.
did?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, he wasn't gonna ever
alright.
get some pussy, so I didn't
alright.
care. I was like, yo, you can't fuck her now, so it's done.
That's
You missed your shot.
That's a long time to be caring about somebody who put you in the friend zone. I'm just saying.
All right, but you're right. How about this? No, you know what? Never mind, because that was one of the best chase scenes to me. Is when that motherfucker, when they were chasing after the Winter Soldier and Black Panther, like that whole scene.
You can tell that movie was so heavily influenced by The Dark Knight, by the way.
Yes.
Even
when he grabbed that motorcycle.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, yeah.
That was so. It's like
No, that shit's crazy.
yeah.
But it was different enough where
Yeah, it was like an homage. They weren't copying it. They were just like, oh, we are paying respects to.
They both do that to each other though.
Yeah.
Just like in Justice League, the billionaire goes to the kid in Marvel.
I don't think Justice League did anything right.
Never mind. I'm gonna.
I'm
I'm gonna change it, guys.
What?
I'm gonna change it. I'm going.
Please
I'm going,
change your
I'm going
list.
Civil War 1.
Thank you.
Winter Soldier 2.
Okay.
Avengers 1. Iron Man, and then like I said, it's a throw up. I like Thor 2 better than I
Why
like
do you
fucking
like
Black
Thor 2?
Panther.
It's funny.
No.
Is it?
No,
I actually just
Thor 3 is
Thor
funny.
3 is
Thor 3.
It's funny.
Why do you like Thor 2 better than Ragnarok?
Because Thor 3 started going into this stupid fucking direction of it's supposed to be more comedic than epic. Stop.
Why not?
Making fucking jokes.
I don't mind
It's
it.
a
I don't mind that.
superhero movie.
It worked for Thor and Hulk because they kind of have that buddy cop like 48 hours relationship. But like I'm trying to figure out, first of all, how did you stay awake for Thor 2 and what techniques can you tell me how to
I was
do
just
that?
about to say,
I didn't like Thor 2.
I just
Who
thought, you know
did?
what's funny is I thought, how about this? You won me over.
Thank you.
I'll take Incredible Hulk. I actually have
Yes.
the best list now.
Smart man.
All right, everybody reconstruct your list. We worked these things out. Everybody reconstruct your list to mine.
It's all right.
Guardians 2 is
Everyone
really
needs
funny.
therapy.
You know,
Guardians
too
2.
funny.
and some people hated it.
That's
for
what
that.
I'm saying. It's too funny, bro.
People hated it because
What's
of
funny
that.
about Guardians 2 is like that is by all intents and purposes a good film.
Yeah, I like
but you
it.
forget about it like 3 days later.
Yeah.
There's like nothing wrong with it.
Dog.
I have like no ill feelings towards it, but like Guardians
neither.
1 sticks with you, right? You
Yeah.
remember that shit like
Yeah.
a weeks later.
Bruh, it's the same thing, man. They take these comedic elements and for the sequel, just keep fucking expanding. It's Rush Hour and everything. I'm tired of seeing Jackie Chan say, you understand the words? Yeah, I get it. It worked in the first
Can
one.
Jackie Chan be an Avenger? Can we make that happen?
That might be possible.
That would be fantastic.
He might be like the old.
The new Iron Man.
Oh no.
I actually
I'm a
saw.
stalker. I'm a Tony Stalker.
I actually saw.
Oh, I am a stalker. I make your weapon for you.
Did you see this new movie called The
Did
Foreigner?
Jackie Chan hit puberty and get a deeper voice?
That's all I
was just
got.
about to say that's your go-to, Jackie,
That's all
or
I got.
anybody.
That's every Asian
I was just about to say, just you
Every
know
default.
what?
That's a
Do
I felt like that was the narrator
the
for
dude-
Dragon Ball Z. Like to be honest,
do the Asian guy? Do the Asian guy from Star Trek?
I am an
He's good.
Asian guy from Star Trek.
No, you're just supposed to do the.
He's a gay. You know,
You know what's
I
funny?
am an Asian gay.
Is I see him going out for SNL, and he's basically like, "All right, this is my Jackie Chan impression," and he does the voice, and he's like, "All right, this is my this is my Asian guy from Star Trek," and it's the same exact voice. He's like, "All right, this is my Margaret Chow," and it's the same fucking voice. That's it. He's like, "Yeah, yeah." We love the versatility of it.
I think you should be one of the new Avengers. I definitely think so.
Oh God.
Because think about it, there's no diversity outside of black dudes and white women and white men.
That would be great, but guess what? Whoever casts me is going to be fired.
Why? Why do you think
Because it
so?
will be
'Cause he's gonna
fired.
suck.
If I'm a fucking computer analyst, then fine. If I'm fighting with these motherfuckers, fat ass little
don't-
Asian dude, what is they gonna?
I mean, there are first of all
fired.
there are fat Marvel superheroes, right? I don't even think you're. First of all, I don't think you're
There's
fat,
Blob.
but like,
There's Blob. He's not a hero. He's the villain. But he's
like what
fat
if
as
you
power.
what if you were the Thing? First of all, the Rocks
Oh,
would cover
shit.
the
The Asian thing.
Maybe.
and it would still cross off the diversity checklist.
It'd be good.
And then you could be like, it's clobbering time.
They do need to do
and
that.
you
to
clobber.
somebody. You know? Remember when
Oh,
they made
Fantastic Four, dog. That was
Asian?
awful.
Wolverine 2, the bad guy. They made him Asian. Remember?
Wait,
One of the bad guys.
you talking about?
Are
when
you
he
talking
was
about
in Japan?
X-23, the lady with the two claws?
Oh yeah,
his
her.
sister.
No, her and He was like he shot. I think he was really good with the gun or something.
Oh, she was tight, bro.
You know
Helen.
what I'm talking about?
I think that was. I don't know if that was X2. I think that was.
No, that's the Wolverine
movie.
movie. That's just when he was in Japan.
Yeah, it was the first one. Yeah. He was really
First
good
one.
at shooting motherfuckers.
And Wolverine 2 is the Asian bad guy too.
Wait, what?
So I just want.
Oh,
I
you're
think
talking
it's-
about Agent
I think it's time to
Zero.
see an
You're
Asian
talking about
good
Agent
guy.
Zero,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
think
Agent
so.
Zero, the guy who's got the 2 guns.
Yeah.
That's Agent Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah, he was dope.
I think it is time that we get an Asian. I'm being dead serious. I think it is time we get an Asian.
Well, Chinese.
Avenger.
The new Superman is Chinese.
What?
The new Superman is Chinese
Like in comics?
in the comics.
Okay,
Get
I
the
didn't
fuck
know
out
that.
of here.
Yes,
I
it's
didn't know that.
Chinese.
You can't
He's
have
a little
a
ass
I know, but like
Chinese.
kids-
I was about to say,
got a
I
little ass
think,
dick
I
and
think
shit.
Asian people are afraid of the tights. They're afraid of the.
That well, also I don't know if they won't introduce. I mean, they should introduce an Asian superhero just because first of all, you have a whole shitload of Asian American kids. You know, they could use a fucking hero to look up to. You know, I'm sure. You know, fucking. You know, why not? But I think like as far as I don't know how these movies do well in Asia because I feel like they don't. Asia doesn't let movies screen that have to do with like the occult or like with witchcraft or some shit.
Really?
I'm not sure about that. So I don't know if like how well in the Marvel universe that would work, but I think it's like dude, like fucking start putting more.
Yeah, I was about to say,
more
dude,
diversity.
you should. Dude, I was about to say, dude, you should definitely go out on the limb and do some type of blank man type.
Maybe a joke like that.
superhero.
Not for real.
Dude, he just told you like you.
Well,
they
I don't know.
have
Wong
any-
is not an Avenger, but he's Asian as well.
Man, he
That's
sucks.
what I'm-
He's dope though. I like that guy.
He's-
that
he has good
actor-
taste in music.
That guy is a good actor,
He's
man.
cool. He's a very good actor.
great
But
actor.
he don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
hey
not good.
man,
Yeah, he's not
I can't wait to see Wong.
Yeah, he's
That's
not
true.
good.
Know what he said?
Yeah, he's not. Yeah,
I can't wait to see
After
Wong.
this podcast, we'll have a few
It's
more
like,
Wong fans.
We gotta see Wong.
where did you hear that the Chinese?
If they kill Wong, I'll be devastated.
No, check the new Superman for DC is Chinese.
Oh, DC is crazy.
Oh,
bro.
so look, let's move on. This Disney, you guys know this. Disney acquired Fox. And
Yeah, it's
what do you
It's
guys
not final
wanna-
yet. It's not
Brilliant.
final yet.
It's not final.
I don't think so.
But I heard it was final.
Oh, I thought
Comcast
it was
made a-
final.
no,
I
it
thought-
will
Comcast-
be.
I
They
thought
buy
it was
everything.
final. They don't care about Fox. They care about
Comcast
Hulu.
made a last minute bid.
Huh?
Comcast made a last minute bid. Yeah,
Man,
I don't
Disney
think it's
will-
not finalized
I'm
yet.
telling you,
Hasn't been finalized.
Disney is going to up that shit. They need Hulu
They got it.
to combat Netflix because they're pulling out of Netflix. They're pulling all of their content
So
off of
you know,
Netflix.
I'm very confident that they're gonna win it.
Okay.
they're gonna get it right. What do you guys want to see happen? If you guys say
X-Men versus Avengers.
that's cool.
That I need that.
Yeah, I need that.
My
too.
body needs that.
Do you want the same cast or do you
Dog,
want to
here's
switch
the
up the
thing.
cast?
The same cast in terms like as far as the Avengers, whoever their current cinematic roster is, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I actually like I don't mind the X-Men that they have right now. I actually am really excited to see the new X-Men
Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix because I want to see a real fucking Cyclops be a leader and kick ass because like they kind of ruin Cyclops.
They always make him
and-
a pussy.
They always make him a pussy. They don't show him like really kick ass the way that he should.
He's like
so I'm
Leonardo.
ready. And I saw those costumes.
I always
Dude,
told
they're
people
using
Leonardo.
the original blue and yellow costumes from like the animated series and the old comics. Like they're finally not afraid to do that now. So I'm like, I can't wait. I will literally, if anyone's listening, I will give up masturbating for many years just to get the release of X-Men
No, he won't.
versus
No,
Avengers.
he won't.
I will
Just
give
saying
it
that.
all up.
Just saying that. He's gonna sneak him in.
Dog, that was probably the best animation series ever.
Yeah.
I used to watch that shit.
X-Men,
Bruh.
Spider-Man, and Batman the
those
Animated
are the
Series
those
were
are
the top.
like whenever I watch, I know Ian McKellen is dope as Magneto, but whoever the guy
love Ian McKellen.
that played Magneto
voice.
in that animation series was Xavier. Like
Yeah,
that
that dude was
motherfucker
dope.
is in my brain
Yeah.
as a kid where I'm like, yo, why doesn't he say Apocalypse was great in that fucking animated series, man.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man too.
X-Men Apocalypse got a lot more shit than it wasn't a great film by any stretch, but I feel like that movie deserved a better rap than it got. That movie wasn't terrible.
Oscar Isaac.
The one with Oscar Isaac where where he just like had no real motivation
I
other
didn't
than
like
to
it that much.
Yeah, they
put
just-
sand into people.
You know what's funny? He goes,
Put sand in the
He
people.
sounded like a child molester. Like, why are you here? I am here for you. Dressed all blue and shit. He was like a child molester.
What is more villainous than a child molester?
yeah,
There's
that's
nothing
true.
more villainous.
Yeah, he
my
did-
child. Like he's
And then he needed to be CGI'd. He looked like he looked
did.
ridiculous.
They should have done.
He looked silly.
They should have learned. They should have waited
like
till
that he wasn't
Avengers
CGI.
Infinity and did Thanos just like they did Apocalypse. They could have gotten away because Apocalypse was supposed to be this big.
You know what? In a
huge
world of
dude.
CGI monsters, I appreciate what they were trying to do with Apocalypse, and I think it worked. I just think that, I mean, you had some crazy ass battle sequences in that movie, like in fight scenes and shit. Like I thought it was extremely entertaining. The story was not particularly gripping, and they didn't do anything new. And then but what scene stuck out for me in that movie is when Magneto's spoiler alert, but fuck you if you haven't seen it yet. Magneto's wife and kid.
Yeah, that was the best. That was
the best.
I choked up.
But he's consistently, Michael Fassbender has been consistently the best thing about all of these new X-Men movies.
I felt that way about Ian McKellen being Magneto is the best character.
The best dude.
Because he has, you feel him because he's been through, like he's
like Killmonger. You get where he's coming from.
You understand. You almost root for him because I understand. You've been fucked over so bad.
Yeah,
you deserve to be bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's just like Killmonger.
No.
They had some strong opinions.
I was just about to say
about our superhero.
They definitely thought Black Panther was supposed to be 5th on the list.
Yeah, they were like, who the fuck put Black Panther?
How come you guys aren't talking about Nacho Libre? So our Hispanic neighbors just walked in.
De Negro de Panther.
They want to talk about Nacho
trying to
Libre.
find out why Coco wasn't on the list.
Like, no, Nacho Libre. Man. So guys, I think we're out of time. And thank you guys so much for tuning in.
This needs to be a longer podcast.
I want to thank Omar for coming in. Co-host Austin Hall.
This was good.
You guys have a good day.
I learned a lot.
All right. Peace.